Good morning, and welcome to the Lone Star Weekly Business Hour. Your host, Rick Schissler, is a Silver Fox advisor who personally has over 40 years of experience as a serial entrepreneur. So sit back, pull out your pad and pencil, and get ready to take notes as we join Rick Schissler in his Lone Star Weekly Business Hour.
Welcome and thank you for joining us for this edition of the Weekly Business Hour. This is Rick Schissler, your Silver Fox advisor and host of the Weekly Business Hour. Well, let's get started with today's show. First, we'll start with our thought for the week, connecting, how come? Then a quick check-in with Dick on the business of Lone Star. And I'm pleased to announce that Dr. Carlos Sanchez, author, speaker, and business leader and founder of the North Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, will join us in the studio. And to close out the show, my Silver Fox Advisor tip of the week will consider the perfect marketing strategy, part 2. So sit back and get ready to pull out your pad and pen, and let's get on with the show. First, though, I want to remind you that if you have a question or just a thought or comment about the show, you can always email me at rick@irlonestar.com. So please do be a part of the show. We'd love to have you. Thought for the week, connecting, how come? How come do we need to connect? Or maybe that sounds kind of funny. Why do we need to connect? How's that? We all have connections in our lives, whether we realize it or not. We connect every day with people in our lives, primarily at least our families, in some cases our friends, people we work with in business, people we do business with. All day long we are connecting with people. We're building relationships, some insignificant, if you will, others very significant. But sometimes we really don't take time to take stock of how important connecting really is, and how that each time we talk with someone or interface with someone, how important it is to build a connection. Having the right connection in business can make or break your business. I would hope that if you own a business or if you work in a business, you understand that each time you deal with someone in the business, again, whether it be a customer or client, an employee, or even a vendor, it's important that you put the most you have into that connection, into that relationship. Sometimes I find myself, I have to just stop and take a short breath and reset when I'm getting ready to visit someone, or if I bump into someone. I've got to switch gears, as I like to say. And I think that's important to remember. Take time to make that change in your own mindset so that you can get the most out of that relationship, the most out of that connection. And of course, the best way to do that is to give the most. Always be willing to give of yourself, your time, and your experience and your knowledge. Again, whether it's a vendor or someone who's cleaning your office, you take time to say hello. You make that connection with that person. You never know when that may come back to be a real positive effect or force in your life and your business. Connections and business networking, the right choice. That is the right choice for all of us. We need to connect, and one of the formal ways to do that is networking. And when we speak with our studio guest shortly, we're going to talk a little bit about networking as it relates to the Chamber of Commerce business model. Our thought for the week, connecting, how come? Hopefully I've given you something to think about. You're in the right place if you're a business owner, manager, or you're considering starting your own business, because the Weekly Business Hour is where Montgomery County comes to talk about the latest in business news, ideas to improve your business, and to hear from some of our own local business leaders on how they have found success right here in Montgomery County. A reminder to you, we're on Facebook, so please like us on Facebook at the Weekly Business Hour Facebook page. We post each show there, so if you have us on Facebook and you check it, you'll get the latest show updated on a weekly basis. Now let's check in on the business right here at Lone Star. Dick, what's on tap for Lone Star for the coming week?
I want to let people know that we're expanding our DJ hours to Saturday and Sunday for volunteers, and we have a new time slot. Wayne Michaels of Lone Star Country Nights is going to be manning up on Saturday mornings from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., all the way through Texas country, good country music, and all that kind of stuff. So keep an eye out and ear out on Sunday mornings every Saturday. Every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. for Wayne Michaels with Texas country music.
Well, it's good to hear that this business is on an expansion mode, just like your business. it's changing all the time, whether you know it or not. I encourage you to stay in tune with the changes, and that's great to hear about Wayne Michaels joining us on Saturday morning. Well, we're to the best part of the show, in my opinion, and that's when we talk to our guest in the studio. And today, as I mentioned earlier, I'm very pleased to have Dr. Carlos, as we call him, in the studio. Dr. Carlos Sanchez, or as I say, Dr. Carlos, and I soon to think you'll be Mr. Chamber as well.
Soon.
Well, anyway, to move through this, I want to take a second, something I normally don't do. Dr. Carlos, if you'll allow me, I was looking over your resume last night, and I think people need to understand where people come from. And sometimes when you ask someone to say, well, this was my experience where I came, they sort of shortcut things. But I want to mention some things about you that were in your resume. I mean, you've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years. You've got experience since 1996. You've had your business Leaders Without Borders, a coaching, training, consulting firm that provides tools and strategies to help professionals build those bridges in their organizations and the Spanish-speaking workforce, patient, resident, and customer relationships. You've authored over 20 books, and I'm glad you're nodding, so this means this is accurate information. But I mean, these books, The Leaders Without Borders, Building Bridges Between English and Spanish Speakers, the one I'm personally familiar with, Healthcare Without Borders, Spanish Without Borders, lots of great reads for people. And then when I looked at the clients that you've helped, amazing, Dell, Tenet Healthcare, Baylor University, City of Dallas, and I mean, the list goes on. And I think something important is we're going to talk about the chamber, the Hispanic, North Houston Hispanic Chamber today a lot, is the fact that you've done this before in Irving, Texas. In fact, you were awarded in 2009 a Community Leader Award for your work there and being the executive director of the Irving Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, which also was recognized on a national basis in 2012. So you've got experience all the way around, and I'm just thrilled to have you here on the show.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you for having me.
Well, I appreciate that. And let me ask you just to start off, I mean, you're an accomplished author, you're a speaker, business leader, particularly here in our community and beyond the community. Why start a chamber organization?
That's a very good question. I think I mentioned it once or twice to you before I started the chamber. Just there's a huge need because there's just, as far as I'm concerned, there's not a lot of knowledge on behalf of business owners on both ends, whether it's the American general market on how to enter and understand the Hispanic market, and on the new Hispanic business owners who really don't understand the American system. So there's a lot of need for knowledge. And the model that we use, creating a chamber of commerce, it fits really well because we really do want to talk to the business owners that want to enter both markets. So the reason I'm doing this is because, to be honest with you, from Houston all the way up to Conroe, there's very little out there in terms of outreach trying to do anything about it, trying to help businesses either become successful with their own businesses or even in other markets. That's the main reason, just the need.
Well, you know, you mentioned the need. It's something I see in my practice because on one hand, you mentioned first that you have American businesses and helping them connect with Hispanic customers and clients. But on the other side of the coin, and I think it's often missed, is we have Hispanic business owners. Sure. And that number is just, it has to be exploding. I don't have any statistics, but those people, like any of my clients that I help build their business, they really need help as well.
Well, I think that to many degrees, much more help than traditional American entrepreneurs or business owners, because there's so many systems that are so different from where they're coming from, but they assume that it's pretty much the same thing. Open a place and people will come, and they miss a lot of the details. There's an example of this one guy who's opening a business, a taco and salsa business here in the Woodlands, and he couldn't open for 2 months because he didn't have a water requirement grease trap written down and sort of designed by an engineer. He just couldn't figure out how to get that done. And the water system and the people at the township were as helpful as they're going to be with the guy who doesn't speak a lot of English. But he had the capital, he had the willingness, he just didn't have the knowledge. And so that's where a Hispanic chamber helps, because sometimes people do need some, not representation because we're not attorneys, but they just need someone on their behalf to go out and find out what exactly they need and then find them the resources. So that's very common, that more times than not, people will open their own businesses without real knowledge of, I mean, if we do it in English, let alone, we do it ourselves. Other folks from other countries do the same thing. And that could be pretty expensive for them, and it could be pretty dangerous for us.
Well, I think you make a wonderful point. I'll be frank with you. I've worked with businesses that have had similar problems, even though they were in the American process. But we're all new business owners, right? We have challenges. Well, we talked, or you touched a little bit on what your purpose was. What is the main mission, though, of the Chamber? I mean, you've got something on your website. What does that mean to me if I'm a prospective member?
Well, for anyone reading our website, the front page and all our brochures say the same thing. We embrace, educate, and empower our members to connect, do business, and thrive in one of America's fastest growing markets. So basically, the embrace part is just to let our members or people know that we're a very welcoming Chamber of Commerce to anyone that wants to get involved, to anyone that's positive about both markets. And education is key to all of this. Without education, we really are walking around and not really knowing of the opportunities that are available to us. So embrace, educate, and empower. We encourage everyone to do business with one another at every one of our events, at every one of our meetings. It's hopefully people that show up are showing up to do business. So embrace, educate, and empower are the three top cornerstones of our Chamber of Commerce.
Well, I have a deep appreciation for those, as you know, but our listeners don't. I personally joined as a Silver Fox advisor in my private practice, the Chamber, and absolutely, I will put a check mark by each of those three. The embrace, the education, the opportunity, and the synergy that this group has is amazing, and I've enjoyed my affiliation so far and look to do greater things. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break now, and when we come back, we're going to visit a little bit more with Dr. Carlos, as we affectionately call him in the business community, about the Hispanic Chamber and some other things that it's doing. So please stay with us. We'll be right back with you.
Rick, the reluctant cowboy, is sifting through the decades of country music to give you the best, upbeat, feel-good music he can on Afternoons with Lone Star Monday through Friday from 3 to 7 on Lone Star Community Radio, Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1, and on irlonestar.com.
Taylorized PR works exclusively to get your business noticed. Public relations is how others perceive you and your company. By tailorizing the marketing strategy exclusively to your business, your story is told. Taylorized PR services include networking, social media, blogs, press releases, public appearances, and event planning. To learn about Taylorized PR, call Margie Taylor at 936-828-6881 or visit the website at taylorizedpr.com. My business is tailored to yours.
This is Rick Schissler, your Silver Fox advisor and host of the Weekly Business Hour. And we're in the studio today talking to Dr. Carlos Sanchez, who is now the founder, I left out speaker, business leader, but the founder of the North Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And we're talking about the Chamber. And let me ask you, Dr. Carlos, what kind of programs or initiative does the Chamber carry out?
Well, I can tell you this. About 40%, 45% of our members are American. And what I mean by that is they only speak English, they come from the American general market, and the other percentage, the 55%, are Hispanic, which means they're bilingual. And we have no members who speak no English. Everyone speaks English. And because the people that step up to join chambers generally know that to be successful, you have to speak English. This is the country that speaks English, obviously, and we know that. But to a large degree, both groups tend to be a little lacking of knowledge of each other. So our biggest program, or our most important program, is one-on-one, sort of sitting down with the business owner and saying, this is how you enter and sustain in the market that you want to enter. So if it's Americans in general, we affectionately call them Americans, English-speaking businesses, clinics, doctors, hospitals, things like that. How do you enter and sustain in the Hispanic market? So it's that education piece. And for Hispanic business owners, how do you gain more customers who speak English? How do you enter that market? So the biggest program, our initiative, is educational. So that's number one. Number two, of course, is networking. It's helping people do business with one another in a way that's safer, I believe, safer than other environments. Smaller groups where you can actually listen to each other and hear each other, what you have to say, what you have to offer, and then we encourage people to do business with one another. So those two major initiatives is what we have, 4 or 5 events per month that encourage those things.
Well, you notice, if I can comment on the second one, the networking, and this is from my personal experience and observation, is you mentioned the word safer environment. It's a networking group, but it just feels different because you're in a chamber, and you've got people that just really seem to be wanting to connect and work with each other. Not that I haven't had that experience elsewhere, because there's some wonderful chambers out there, but your group really seems to be focused on that connection and understanding each other's business, and in your, as you mentioned, the English speaking, the Spanish speaking, to connect that bilingual effect as well.
That's how you can take major advantage of the opportunity. In Tarrant County, for instance, there's 1.4 million households that are Hispanic. And that's huge buying power. I'm not familiar entirely with Montgomery County, but just driving around downtown Conroe, you'll see a lot of Hispanic-owned businesses. And taking advantage of that, understanding that, walking in and feeling comfortable is a major advantage to any business owner.
Well, it obviously that would make sense to all of us. I'd like to give you a chance, as I do with the leaders of other chambers, to kind of give their take on the state of their chamber. In your case, the state of the North Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Please give it to us.
Well, just by way of state, I would imagine that just a bigger picture. Right now, we've been around since January 1st, and we have 82 members. So that's 3.5 months, 82 members. We now have more members than most small Hispanic chambers of commerce that are in this county and south of this county, except Houston, which I think has 1,500 members, which is very different. So we've experienced very, very fast growth. We have 2 staff members, myself and someone else, and like I said, we have events all week, every week, and really looking for growth and for people who want to get involved and want to be a positive influence in both markets. So our major sponsors, Benchmark Bank, Lone Star College, Welcome Wagon. So we have several major sponsors. Obviously, like all of us, we can always use more. And we're knocking on those doors as well. So I think that as a Chamber of Commerce is concerned, when we look at our chamber and other chambers, if I look at American chambers or English-only chambers, obviously they're much, much bigger, much better organized. And that's who we're learning from. So my mentors are people who work with the Spring Klein Chamber of Commerce and right now the Tomball Chamber of Commerce, who we've become very good friends through associations. And they're pretty much mentoring me into how to get bigger and how to get stronger. So our Chamber of Commerce is very open. If there are people who want to come in and do initiatives that are tailored to their business, we're open to listening to what they have to propose. So we're very flexible at this point, and we'll continue to be flexible. So we're excited for the growth of our chamber.
You know, I'll make one comment on that, and I failed to say this, and you brought it up, and I think it's very important to us that think about joining a chamber. I mean, it's one thing to write the check for the membership. I wouldn't write the check, though, unless I have time to participate and go to some. Rarely can we go to all events, but be a part of it. And the fact that you're reaching out to other chambers and connecting, you know, chambers, in my experience, have always been competitive.
Territorial.
Very competitive, territorial. And in your case, and I've noticed this with the information I've gotten at events on your website, that you're reaching out to chambers in the surrounding area and trying to connect with them, looking for members that want a very specific type of involvement.
Absolutely. Well, and there's a reason why there's 4 or 5 car dealerships, one after the other, if you drive up and down 45. People are going to have different needs. And many chamber presidents understand that. There are some that prefer not to get involved with us, and that's okay too. We get that. But I'm expanding. So we're going to Magnolia and to Conroe and even Kingwood and Humble, because this is all the north side of Houston. And so I'm excited to talk to all of my colleagues and figure out ways that we can work together.
Well, I applaud you for it. I think it's something we need to do across the board in business.
I agree.
These informal or formal partnerships are very important. Well, what's the next step? Where do you go once you get, you got the membership deal working? What's the next step?
The first thing is we say stop. Come and talk to us. Come to new member orientation. Let us tell you about how we work, how to be successful when you're introducing yourself, for instance, and how to make your business successful in a chamber of commerce that's so inclusive that it's likely people standing next to you are from a different country, and we don't know. So how to be successful in diversity, because we know that that's something that most chambers don't provide their members. They just say, you've joined, thank you for your whatever amount of membership money, now go off on your way and be happy. So we make it a point to hold your hand early on, even through our ambassador program, just to help people take advantage and really maximize the return on investment with the Chamber of Commerce. Because I've been a Chamber member for years, and I've spent thousands of dollars in Chamber memberships over the years, and I've never been successful in Chambers because I've never known how. And so now I know what not to do, very specifically, and I can help people actually become successful working with the Chamber of Commerce.
Well, you've really hit what I think is a soft spot, or you could say a sore spot with people. They join chambers and they really don't know what they don't know what their expectations are.
Right.
So it's a 1-year membership and they're out, and you see that turnover
all the time,
and so on and so forth.
Yeah, so we actually give you a statement of benefits. So you have a contract where you can hold us accountable for every single thing that we say is on our membership. So that's really important because I don't think anybody else is doing that right now.
Yeah, I think it's very, very important. Let me ask you this, though, and I think it's important, is if I'm listening to this program and I've either had a bad experience, meaning I didn't get what I thought I should out of a chamber, or I've never made the commitment. Again, I think it's a commitment like you do. You pay the dues, and then you've got to participate. Don't do one without the other. But why is it important for business people to join and support their local chambers?
Well, there's several answers to that question. I think the first one is, as a business owner, I want people to know I'm in business. So just the publicity or just the exposure alone is really meaningful. Supporting the chamber makes it a stronger community, a stronger group of people. So whether you speak or not, or whether you're involved or not in the Hispanic market, it really is more important to be together. Even with advocacy and with things like, once a chamber gets big enough, they become voting blocks and they become important to officials and people like that. To have your voice heard, the Chamber of Commerce also gives you a platform for that. So joining a chamber, whether it's the Hispanic chamber or any other chamber, is a very meaningful part of business that I think younger generations right now are beginning to learn. Older generations, of course, we already know this, but the younger people sometimes don't realize that this is a better platform than almost anything because it attracts all the city officials and all the government officials because they know that chambers of commerce traditionally in the United States have been meaningful advocates.
Well, I think you make some great points, and I'd like to add one myself that I've already experienced by being a member of your chamber, and I have in others, I guess, as well. But you become friends with people, and not that I know all 82 people, but I also am developing relationships, and I touched on that in my thought of the week, building connections, building relationships. And why is that important to me? Not only the things I mentioned in my comment, but I'm beginning to build some trust with people. And just the other day, I had a client, in my case, who needed a particular service, and I had nobody in my Rolodex, if you will. That kind of dates me, doesn't it? But that's what it is. And I reached out to this person who I met through your chamber, and they've gotten to know a little bit. We've had coffee together, and he immediately says, "Look, here's somebody who's really good. I would recommend you talk to them, see if it works for you." And you know what? I said, "My gosh, you made me look good because I'm going to give someone. I'll talk to them, and then if they sound good to me, give them to one of my clients."
Sure, absolutely.
I mean, wow. I said, this is great because otherwise I'm not really doing a service to my clients in my case, but it could be a service I needed.
Right.
And I needed somebody. I'm new to this area, relatively speaking, and I'm looking for business connections. So the chamber really, like your chamber, really gives me a platform to go on and meet people who are serious about doing business.
Right, and we encourage that, and that's the whole idea, by all means.
Let's digress as we kind of wind down this morning. I wanted to, you've done some wonderful things. I kind of stumbled through them in your resume as we began this segment today, but what's the next step in your professional life, if I can ask?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm enjoying the chamber. I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now. I've done so many different things, and I'm always looking for the next opportunity, for something exciting to do. For the foreseeable future, I will continue to deliver my experience and my knowledge and my energy to the North Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and its members, because I do believe that we have a wonderful thing happening now, and it will grow. It will grow, it gets stronger and bigger and better for everyone. So that's next for me.
Let me ask you, is there another book in the future?
Oh, it's already there. It's already, yes, there is. It's coming. It's in my mind already, so I know I have. I just have to sit down and write it. But I already have it. Yes.
I know that author mindset. If you're a good author, you always have that next book in the back of your mind.
Absolutely.
Then it moves up front. Then it begins to show itself on paper.
There you go.
Well, fantastic. And I would encourage people to look you up. Your books, your border books. Some of them offer tremendous information to those who are trying to do business bilingually, so to speak. And Dr. Carlos, I can't thank you enough for taking
thank
time
you,
to
Rick.
join us. I appreciate you giving us the state of the North Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. If people are interested in learning more, what's the best way for them to do it?
By all means, it's northhoustonhispanicchamber.org. That's our website. That would be the way to go, because that's where we have everything that people need.
Yeah, you've got a lot of great information. As we talked prior to coming on the air, you keep people informed about what's going on, what's coming up, which encourages me, at least, to try to become more involved and attend events. So, again, thank you very much, and the best of luck in the Chamber. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our break here at the bottom of the hour. We come back, we're going to hopefully deliver some news to you. A lot of news going on around the county that will help you in your business, hopefully even information you can use today. So please stay with us, and we'll be right back.
Are you planning on growing, expanding, or possibly selling your business? All of these business opportunities require developing strategies and setting goals in order to achieve success. Providing specialized consulting in these and other key business decisions is what Silver Fox Advisors have been doing since 1986. Let us help you today. Call us at 713-343-3718. It might be the most profitable call that you ever make.
Running a business is hard. Pressure to maximize profits and minimize loss continue to grow. Schooley Mitchell of Houston can help. Their independent consultants will ensure you are receiving the best communications and credit card processing services at the best prices. Most importantly, their services are completely risk-free. If they don't find savings for you, there is no fee. Contact Schooley Mitchell of Houston today to find out. Call 832-314-1815 or visit their website at schooleymitchell.com/JM.
You are listening to the Weekly Business Hour, and this is Rick Schissler, your host and Silver Fox Advisor. Before we get into the next segment of news I hope you can use in your business today, I want to remind you that each of these shows is archived in the form of a podcast, available later this week. So if you missed the first part of the show, and I would encourage you to go to our website, irlonestar.com, go to the Weekly Business Hour, or you can go to our Facebook page, the Weekly Business Hour, connect and listen to the show. Great interview with Dr. Carlos Sanchez, currently the founder of the North Houston Harris County Chamber of Commerce. A lot of good stuff going on. So I encourage you, if you missed part of that segment or missed a previous show, you can always find them in our archives. Here's some business news that I hope you can use. There's a lot of things going on around the county, needless to say. Lots of construction, homes being built, businesses being built. And if you're in business in this county or thinking about going in business in this county, I always feel it's important to kind of keep an eye on what's going on, sort of at the big level, as I call it, the corporate level. What are the big folks doing around town? And one of the things I came across is the Woodlands. The CVB there is exploring a partnership with the Texas Renaissance Festival. There was a great article posted in Community Impact News by Marie Leonard on May 13th. And by the way, I would encourage you, if you don't get a copy of Community Impact newspaper, that you go online. It's available at Impact, Community Impact. There are editions for different parts of the city as well as other cities outside the greater Houston area. But it's a great way to stay up with what's taking place business-wise and otherwise around Montgomery County. The article pointed out that officials from the Texas Renaissance Festival are looking to the Woodlands as a potential overnight destination for out-of-town visitors coming to this annual event each fall. Renaissance Festival has been growing and growing for years and years, and has really become a destination for a lot of people outside of our area. So they need a place to stay. And I think this is an interesting consideration that's being, or discussion that's taking place with the Woodlands CVB, Convention Visitor Bureau. In fact, at their meeting May 4th earlier this month, Festival Representative Travis Bryant asked the board formally to consider this partnership so that at least they could do joint promotions of the festival as a destination as well as the Woodlands and the Woodlands hotels. In return, Bryant proposed the Woodlands CVB would promote the festival as well as the festival itself. So it's a kind of a cross-promotional idea that's being built, but I see other things that may come out of this. Of course, the number of hotels located near the festival site out near Plantersville is fairly limited in the Magnolia area, and traffic has always been an issue, or in recent years. So they're talking even about a shuttle bus, the potential of shuttling people so they can get in and out of the festival easier. CVB Board Chairman Gordy Bunch said that while the Woodlands Township Board of Directors would need to ultimately approve the use of its park and ride facilities, there's a lot to discuss. So it's a pretty positive discussion that's taken place. Just so you know, the Texas Renaissance Festival started in 1974, lasts for 8 weeks every fall, and more than 500,000 people attend that festival annually. So it's amazing the kind of economic impact that festival has on our area. So keep in touch with that discussion. I don't know if you have a business that might be impacted by it, but it's something to be aware of in the growth of visitors to our area, the people that travel to the Woodlands as a resort destination, and to the Renaissance Festival. All a plus for our area as far as economic growth and jobs. Next thing I'd like to mention, this is the YMCA, an organization I've been affiliated with for a number of years. They have formally announced that they're going to build a new Y facility in the Falls at Imperial Oaks, a neighborhood located off of Highway 99. It's anticipated that construction of the facility will begin in 2018. It was pointed out by Heather Saucer, Director of Media Relations for the Y, that they have a need for $13 million to build this facility. So I'm sure there'll be some fundraising taking place as well as some type of financing perhaps. But it's going to be built on a 10-acre tract that was donated by the 830 Investor Limited, which is part of the Holcomb family, a Holcomb family partnership. And the new Y will be named the Holcomb Family YMCA. And it will serve portions of the Conroe ISD and the Spring area east of I-45. As you probably know, we've got one of the fastest growing counties in the area, and the need for an additional Y, which will be the first Y in a number of years that has been built in our area. And it's interesting now, east of 45 obviously is starting to blossom business-wise. And if you stay and listen to the show right behind me in East Montgomery County News with Margie Taylor, you'll learn how this growth is even starting to spill over into the 59 area. The entire county is now benefiting from the economic growth around us. Paul McIntyre, who's the current president and CEO of the YMCA, said, "We are committed to improving quality of life by offering programs that foster academic achievement and focus on drowning prevention and healthy living." And I can second that. I think the location of a Y in these neighborhoods around 99 and Riley Fuzzle will be a real plus for that neighborhood. So if you want more information about the Y, I encourage you, go to www.ymcahouston.org. The next item I have on our news agenda for today is, I think, one very exciting for all businesses, and this involves Lone Star College University Center, and particularly off of Highway 242. They have formed new partnerships with Stephen F. Austin and Lamar University. Again, this was an article I came across posted in Community Impact, this one written by Beth Marshall on May 11th. Lone Star College University Center at the Woodlands is recruiting students to participate in new degree plans offered on-site through Stephen F. Austin and Lamar Universities. These colleges, along with some other colleges, are offering four-year degree programs on-site there at the University Center campus. And I think that's very important for us as employers, those of us looking for more education, that we don't have to travel to these universities' locations. Stephen F. Austin, of course, Nacogdoches, Lamar University, primarily in the Beaumont area. We can get education from these universities right here in the Woodlands at the University Center campus. SFA, Stephen F. Austin, will be offering specifically bachelor's degree in social work, a master's of social work, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Applied Science degrees. And again, the convenience factor can't be overlooked. It's right here. And there are several other universities that have partnered with the University Center in the Woodlands. The University of Houston offers an Executive Master of Business Administration degree through its Bauer College of Business. University of St. Thomas offers education-based degrees. Our Lady of the Lake University from San Antonio offers various bachelor's, master's, and doctoral programs. And, of course, Sam Houston University offers various bachelor and master degree plans as well. So a great opportunity for us as employers to either support our employees to go to these schools, or if we're looking for education. And the fact is, a better educated workforce is better for all of us in this community. So I think the work that's being done at Lone Star College University Center, particularly along with the other Lone Star College locations throughout our county, are very, very important for the future of business here in Montgomery County. The final news item I'd like to wind up with today is one I think that very important, particularly for those of us who live in the Woodlands or have businesses in the Woodlands, because the Woodlands has started formally. I think I can use the word formally, considering its future path to eventual incorporation. Again, an article I picked up in Community Impact updated where they are. This one again written by Maureen Leonard and posted on May 11th. The Woodlands has until 2057 to incorporate based on the deal that it made with the city of Houston regarding its annexation. So it's a long way out in the future, but the leadership in place in the Woodlands, the township, they're pushing ahead. They want to make sure they explore all the options. And according to this article, there's a lot of items and issues that have to be explored. I think what's important, though, and one of the main drivers, is pointed out by Director Mike Bass, is it really has less to do with roads than frustration of not having a seat at the table where decisions are being made by others which may adversely impact us. The fact is that there are different organizations, regional organizations, that the Woodlands just doesn't have a seat at the table to discuss, say, roadways, transportation throughout the region, because they're not a city. The point is that Township Director John McMullen said the Woodlands will receive better, more responsive, more accountable governance when it becomes a city. It's interesting that when George Mitchell founded the Woodlands, and I encourage you to look this article up on Community Impact, got a great history. His vision was to eventually be annexed by the city of Houston, but over time things have changed. The Woodlands develop, and the folks that live in the Woodlands, even though as late as 2011 were not really in favor of becoming a full-fledged city with home rule, these things continue to change, as pointed out by the township directors. As Township Director Laura Philott pointed out, it could be 5 years, it could be 3, it could be 10. None of the board members want to be rash about how we're pursuing this. I think we all acknowledge we have to keep moving in a direction, because we will have to incorporate someday. There's just too many unknowns right now, but we don't want to let it sit on the sidelines. Sounds like a prudent plan to me. One thing that comes up, and we need to be aware of it, again, if we live or work in the Woodlands, is there will be tax consequences. And that when this event takes place, apparently, there will be an increase in taxes. Director Gordy Bunch in the article points out that there will be some increase. He says we're talking hundreds of dollars, not thousands of dollars. There's no indication that being a locally governed city would come anywhere close to costing as much as being annexed by Conroe or Houston. So keep your eye on the tax rate, keep your eye on the government, because it's very important to us in business and where we live to be aware of how we're going to be governed and what that means to us in our everyday lives. Well, that's the end of my report on the news in the area. If you'll stay with us, we're going to take our final break for the day, and I encourage you to stay with us as I will give you the perfect marketing strategy part 2 when we come back.
Are you paying too much for your personal or business insurance? Patricia Cooper Insurance on FM 1488 and Tamina Road is an independent agency that can shop multiple carriers to find the best rates and coverages to fit your specific needs. Call us today at 281-356-9955 and let us go to work for you. Patricia Cooper Insurance, where our customers are treated like family.
Tune in on June 7th at 1 p.m. for Veterans Air, the Veterans Hour here on your Lone Star Community Radio. Veterans Air, news, talk, and commentary for veterans, their dependents, and our military members. This month, we'll highlight the Military Veterans Peer Network with Ashley Taylor, who will tell us everything we need to know to be a veteran in Montgomery County. And introducing our new co-host, Dangerous Dan, the Muffin Man. Veterans Air. Think of us as a land nav course without a compass.
This is Rick Schissler, your Silver Fox advisor and host of the Weekly Business Hour. Thank you for listening to the program today, and we're in our final segment, and I'll get to the Silver Fox Advisor tip of the week in a moment, but I wanted to remind you, keep an eye out. In the next several weeks, Lone Star Community Radio will also be available on FM 104.5 and 106.1 on your radio dial. We'll be offering you, as a listener, both a tune-in and internet radio station. So stay tuned. We'll be on FM soon. Silver Fox Advisor Tip of the Week, the perfect marketing strategy, Part 2. Well, last week I gave Part 1, and the perfect marketing strategy is an effort on my part to convey to you that a marketing strategy for your business, even if you are a larger business, it's a very personal thing. It's developing a perfect marketing strategy or a marketing strategy is very personal. And I think that each of us that own businesses need to take time to analyze our marketing strategy for our business and make sure that we buy into it 100%, and that our employees, if we have employees, buy into it 100%. So today I want to talk on touch on three or four other parts of the personal aspect of the perfect marketing strategy. First is, what is the simple 10-word core message that explains and excites? What part of your marketing strategy can you reduce to 10 words? Again, it could be 12 or 15 or 8, but can you boil your marketing strategy down to a basic minimum, say 10-word core message? A message that you can deliver to someone that would make them understand, help them understand what your business is all about. And on top of that, will it excite them? Will it cause them to be curious, at least to learn more about your business? I think that's a good basic question. A lot of fancy marketing strategies out there, a lot of them are many pages long. A lot of great marketing plans out there, but can we really boil it down to its core? Next thing is, how will your market come to trust that you have the answers? You know, marketing to me is a lot about building trust. It's about building relationships, connections, things we talked about earlier in our show today. Does your marketing strategy have as part of it the way you're going to build that trust through that strategy and the things you do to execute that strategy, the advertising and whatnot? Does your message carry the idea of trust? Will it go forward in developing that relationship? Will it cause people to want to build a relationship with you? Because relationships, to be successful, need to be built on trust. And again, I think this is something that's just overlooked way too often when building a marketing plan or strategy. Next, can you describe the perfect customer experience throughout your organization? In other words, can everyone that works for you, even the people who do business with you as vendors, can they tell you or tell particularly other people about your business and what kind of experience they can expect to have in doing business with you? You see how we're really trying to really penetrate, or some people like drill down and get your marketing message, get your business idea across to people in a way that is very different than it is with most people. So the question is, can you describe the perfect customer experience throughout your organization? At every point that a customer, potential prospective customer, would touch your business, will they have that perfect experience? And last, what resource gaps and constraints you need to overcome to achieve your strategy? You know, it's fine to write it all down, to have the best plan in the world, and have it where you can explain it to everybody, customer, employees, vendors, anyone that has an interest. You've got it, you can communicate it. But there are always going to be resources that we need to execute it. And there are going to be certain constraints. Have you analyzed what those are? Have you addressed them? Do you have a plan to overcome them? I mean, the obvious one is I need money. I need money to advertise it. I need money to do other things. So where is it going to come from? Be sure you do what I call a little bit of back-end planning before you execute on that perfect market strategy. Well, those are my thoughts today about the perfect market strategy, part 2. I hope that the market strategy has been of benefit to you. If you'd like more information about it, please reach out to me. Email me at rick@irlonestar.com, and I'll be glad to communicate with you and talk to you more in depth about what I consider the perfect marketing strategy. I want to remind you about a new segment that will be coming up on our show in the near future, and it'll be called the Silver Fox Expert segment. I hope to have a number of the Silver Fox advisors as guests on the show and talk about their particular expertise. so that they can really offer us a focused individual look at parts of our business, information, items that are important to our business, and really give us some great experience. All the Silver Foxes have years and years of experience, and they all bring a different set of tools, if you will, to the table. So I'm hoping to reach out to them and bring different ones on the show in the future in a segment that I'll call Silver Fox Experts. I want to take an opportunity to thank the Silver Fox Advisors, our show sponsors. In the past, you've heard from a number of our show guests how important a mentor has been to them in the success of their business. Every business leader needs someone from time to time to talk to who has the experience and the willingness to give them the unvarnished truth about their business. If you or your business needs a mentor, an advisor, then I encourage you to check out the Silver Fox Advisors. You can get more information at www.silverfoxadvisors.org or contact me direct at 713-343-3718. I encourage you to visit our website at irlonestar.com to stay up on everything happening in Montgomery County. As we close the show today, I want to give a big Lone Star thanks to all our sponsors, Patricia Cooper Insurance, Schooley Mitchell, Taylor Eyes PR, and of course the Silver Fox Advisors. Please put a note on your calendar to join us again next Monday, right here on irlonestar.com at 11 a.m. Until then, stay engaged this week and keep your focus on what counts on your business.
Thanks for checking out this production on Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's radio station. For more information on this show and other shows on Lone Star, check us out online at irlonestar.com. If you're interested in sponsoring a program on Lone Star Community Radio and reaching the local audience of Montgomery County on FM, internet, and TV media, please call 936-647-5747 or contact us online at irlonestar.com. This recording is a Lone Star Community Radio production, produced by the show host and Rick Schissler of Lone Star Community Radio. Interested in volunteering as a music DJ or starting your own talk show? Contact Rick Schissler at dick@irlonestar.com or by phone at 936-647-5747.